we set the precedent that the government will pay you to do nothing. And there are a lot of people that bought into the idea that the government will pay them to do nothing. And a lot of those people aren't willing to go back to work. And I think we drove a lot of people into early retirement. And this whole situation is just a mess. Lockdowns are the most disastrous decision our country has ever made.
With today's numbers, the jobs over the last 3 months have averaged about 400,000 jobs per month. That's historically robust and a sign we're beginning to shift to steady growth after rapidly recovering 600,000 jobs per month over the prior 6 months. And as we move to a new period of stable, steady growth, we should expect to see more moderation. We aren't likely to see the kind of blockbuster job reports month after month like we had over this past year. But that's a good thing. That's a sign of a healthy economy.
Here's Biden telling you, lower your expectations, peasants. It's not going to be that great. Sorry. I created, keep in mind, when they say created jobs, what they just mean are jobs that came back online because the psychotic Democrat Fauci worshipers weren't able to continue to shut down whole sectors of the economy endlessly. So, yeah, there were jobs that came back. But no one's looking at this economy right now and thinking to themselves, yeah, they've done a really good job. And in fact, quite the opposite. And Biden is just living in an alternate universe where he reads whatever the advisors around him put on the screen. He has no idea what's going on. This is a man who has never run a business. The only job he knows how to create is for Hunter with Burisma and corrupt Chinese companies. And here we are, Clay, being told, we kind of knew this was going to happen. The economy's great. It's doing really well. I've done a great job. I mean, this is the kid who shows up to class not having done the homework, deserves a 0, not even an F, and wants to tell everybody that they're the valedictorian.
We still haven't regained the jobs that all existed when we shut down the country in March of 2020. That's the talking point that needs to be hammered home over and over and over again. We still are under the number of people that were employed then. I hope by the time we get to November that maybe we'll be back to the employment level we were at in March of 2020. But that's how bad of a decision this was to shut down. And bragging about people who were forced not to be able to work, being able to come back to work as a recovery is not what a recovery actually is. And by the way, I don't know how much you see it in New York City. There are over 11 million open jobs right now in this country. Over 11 million. I went to fill up with my gas tank yesterday. That was not, again, setting a record high for how much I've ever had to pay to fill up my gas tank. And in the window of the gas station, they said, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, please be kind to us. We can't find enough people to work at our business. Gas station. The gas station has a sign in the window saying, effectively, please be kind to us. We can't find enough people to work here. Now, I live in the Nashville area. If there are 11 million open jobs, I know a lot of people driving around all over the country listening to us right now are seeing that in their own communities. So not only have we not rebuilt the jobs that we had in March, there are people won't work. There are 11 million jobs open, which is creating more and more of an issue in terms of businesses, particularly small businesses, being able to function. I went to Zaxby's the other day with my kid. They had a handwritten note in the window, Buck, saying, we're closing early today. Zaxby's, a fast food restaurant. Great chicken tenders, by the way. Free plug there. Great Zaxby sauce, Zax sauce, one of the great sauces in fast food restaurants. They shut down because they didn't have enough people to work in the evening. They just had a handwritten note in the drive-thru. We had to shut down today. We didn't have enough employees. Can you ever remember in your entire life going to a fast food restaurant and having a sign in the window that said we had to shut down because we didn't have enough employees?
Nope.
I mean, this is crazy.
Stephen Moore has a different take. He was an economic advisor to President Trump. We've had him on the show. I've known Steve for years. He's basically just telling everybody, yep, get ready for the recession that's coming.
Well, I don't want to be a chicken little, but I am worried about this economy. Now, Austin is right. This was a very strong jobs report, and we do have a surplus number of jobs over the people who are filling jobs, and that's a good problem to have for the most part. But, boy, you look at some of these other indicators right now on the economy, and they're all pointing south right now. Let me give you an example, Bill. You know, one of the questions that's been asked for 40 years is, do you think the economy is headed in the right direction or the wrong direction? Do you think the economy is good or weak? And the latest report from Gallup shows that only 20% of Americans, 1 in 5, believe the economy is good or great. 75% think the economy is headed in the wrong direction. And so I just worry, with all of this inflation out there and the higher prices are not keeping pace with wages, that we're going to start to, this may be the last good jobs report we have for a while. We are skating right on the edge of a recession right now.
I think we're heading for a recession, Clay.
Oh, I think we're headed for a recession, too. And I just don't know. When you're driving around in your towns and you can't find, like they can't find people to work as lifeguards. People are not able to open pools right now.
Even in L.A., where apparently lifeguards can make up to $500,000 a year.
I saw that story.
I get to just work on my tan and my abs and make $500K. I'm in the wrong
I would
business.
think one of the great jobs of all time is if you are a teenager working as a lifeguard. But, I mean, they can't get people to work anywhere. And I think one of the reasons is we set the precedent that the government will pay you to do nothing. And there are a lot of people that bought into the idea that the government will pay them to do nothing. And a lot of those people aren't willing to go back to work. And I think we drove a lot of people into early retirement. And this whole situation is just a mess. Lockdowns are the most disastrous decision our country has ever made, probably in our lives.